We're so busy comparing. We have a world where we can compare and visualize where we are and where others are. And our mind just goes crazy, comparing itself the whole time. And aren't you tired of that? Aren't you tired of the voice that keeps telling you, I should be somewhere else and I should be further ahead, and why have they got that and I don't? And then life seems so unfair and unjust. And we feel like victims. We feel like life is against us. You know what? Cards have been dealt and I've not been dealt a good hand. It just feels unfair. And then you have a motivational guru out there may tell you, no matter the hand you're dealt, you make the most of it. And you're like, shut. Because your mind will never stop comparing. Your mind has got the wrong job. We've given our mind the job of comparing ourselves. We were constantly asking ourselves, am I good enough? What is my place in the world? Who am I as a human being? These are the questions we ask ourselves. And our mind is giving us the answers, helping us in a way in evaluating of who we are and where we are compared to others. So our mind is not an enemy. It's just simply got the wrong job. It's not what you're supposed to do, mind. Hey, you didn't land here on planet Earth to compare yourself to other people, to compare your progress, to be constantly evaluating, because it's exhausting. And your mind is constantly scanning the world, and it thinks it's doing you a favor. And you see, I've impersonalized this a bit, because usually you think I'm judging myself or I'm comparing. Your mind is. It's the tendency of the mind to do that. It's not a personal flaw of yours or mine. It's the tendency of the mind that. And it goes back to a lot of things, but you can observe it in everyone around you. It doesn't make you a flawed person. It doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you less spiritual. It doesn't make you flawed. It just makes you perfectly human. But of course it's painful and it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to be constantly comparing. But recognize it's a tendency of the mind. It's not you doing that. It's not a personal flaw. It's just what the mind does. And sit down with your mind for a little bit. Say, you're trying to help me. And you're trying to find evidence of me being good enough. But if you feel within yourself that who you are is good enough, that the voice you put out is good enough no matter how many people hear it, that what you say has value and worth and deserves to be seen, then your mind will quiet down. Because if you question what you do, that's when your mind is active. Is who I am good enough? Is what I'm saying good enough? Am I good enough? And then your mind is looking for the comparisons, the views, the likes. Then it concludes life is unfair, you're behind, and is reporting back to you, right? But you don't need the comparison. You can let it go. It's not what your mind is designed to do. You can observe your mind. And underneath this noise, underneath all this mental noise, you can find a you that is good enough and doesn't need to compare itself. That who you are doesn't need to compare itself because it's good enough. And it's part of this flowering of human consciousness, of every human being is a little flower popping up. And flowers don't compare themselves to others. They don't judge their progress. They don't look forward to the moment they blossom. They enjoy the entire thing. And you hear this advice, but your mind doesn't have it. Your mind doesn't like it at all. Like, yeah, enjoy the journey, yeah. You shouldn't compare yourself. That's bad for you. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, let's not do that. And your mind is hearing these things, says, yeah, this is true. but it keeps comparing, doesn't it? Because you know all this stuff. You know comparison isn't good. You know it makes you miserable, but your mind keeps comparing. So why do you keep doing it? So go within yourself and find a place that doesn't need to compare itself. That is okay with where you are, with how you express. That is not afraid of judgment. There's a place inside of you. There is a part of you that doesn't compare itself, that is beyond comparison, that is not afraid of judgment, that is not afraid of what anyone else thinks. And if you live from that place, you are fully alive and authentic. You might hear the voice of your mind, but you're not tempted to believe it. Oh, look how far they are. It's like, yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. But it's just a story. And when I believe the story, oh, I'm behind in life. Oh, I feel terrible. And I suffer. And it feels real to me. But as long as you can see it's a story, as long as you can see that's the tendency of the mind, that all this advice of comparison is the thief of joy and all these things, they don't help you. Because your mind keeps doing it. Your mind keeps judging. Go to a place within you that doesn't need comparison, that knows. Do you think, because your mind is always looking for confirmation. But when do you think that confirmation is going to come? You think your mind will be satisfied once you're ahead? It will keep comparing. Do you understand it's a tendency of the mind? You don't get, am I praying? Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm praying to you. Your mind will not stop. You think that once you've achieved more success, and once you get there where you think the others are and you haven't accomplished it, yeah? You think once you get there, you'll be fine. And I tell you, your mind will continue working. The Oscar winner, oh, finally I'll win an Oscar, I'm so happy. And then you have the Oscar in your hand and you're like, is that all there is? Oh look, they got 2 Oscars. Oh, and they got the bigger roles. They get paid more. And then suddenly your mind is active again. You think it will stop once you have success? You think once you're there? The people that are there still have the same mind that keep them telling them they should be further ahead. It never stops. Do you understand that? You think that once you're on the podium, with the trophy in your hand, with the applause, then you've made it. That's what your mind tells you. But I tell you that once you get there, it will keep chattering, it will keep comparing, because that's what the mind does. And it will not stop. You could win 10 Oscars. Your trophy cabinet could be full. You could have all the applause in the world. Your mind will still compare. If you have not found a place within yourself that is good enough without the Oscar, without the applause, without the likes, without the followers, find that place. And if you need help finding it, I have a newsletter. It's not a newsletter, it's a letter from my soul to yours. It's a soul letter, a message from your soul to you, reminding you of why the heck you showed up on planet Earth in the first place, of who you are. And to find a place within you, it speaks to you at a level that knows you don't need comparison. Because where you are planted and rooted doesn't compare itself.